Willard Alternative Program has been a standalone program in Missoula for 11 years with approximately 150 students per trimester. The problem with the building that we're currently in is that we do not have a gymnasium or a large assembly space, but I'll come back to that problem in a moment. Our school embarked on a journey to incorporate project-based learning in our school this current year. The reason we chose project-based learning was to improve student engagement. So myself and 2 other teachers came together to develop a project for our fall trimester. The disciplines we brought together were mathematics, government, and communication arts. After a brainstorming session, we came up with the idea that we wanted students to design an outdoor learning space that would be large enough to hold our entire student body for assemblies. And approximately 40 students are placed in our classes. We took a very hands-off approach to this project and wanted to put the students in charge of the design. So we decided to break the students into 4 design committees: architectural design, interior design, landscape design, and alternative energy sources. We allowed the students to choose which committee they had the most interest in, and surprisingly, it split them into fairly equal groups. And since the 3 of us did not have any expertise in any of these design areas, we relied on community members to help us throughout this process. We are very thankful for the community support that we received throughout this project. I don't think we could have made this possible without them. And it was truly a learning experience for all of us involved in this project. So as the students began to work on their project ideas, we had to allow them to move in new directions and take new approaches that we may not have chosen ourselves. They came up with the idea to enclose the space so that we could use it a maximum number of days per year. Weather in Montana isn't so nice in the wintertime. So we wanted to have a large enclosed space that had garage doors on it that could be opened when the weather was nice. But there was a little snafu in that, and that came with the hefty price tag of does a building something of that size. So they went back to the drawing board, decided to downsize a little bit, focus more on improving our indoor current space, building 1 annex, a rooftop garden on top of that annex, and a nice courtyard. So they had to learn to adapt and reevaluate their plans, and that was one of several student frustrations. Another was learning how to work within a committee and then between committees. And with so many students working on this project, it was often hard for them to reach a consensus within a committee, let alone between committees. So having 40 students working on this project was a bit too many. Another was learning how to reevaluate their plans. They had a hard time not taking this personally, and it took them a while to figure out that this was just merely part of the process. So to keep them engaged in the process, we had them do a final project. And so our goal in the end was to have them present to 3 different groups. They first presented to our staff, second to our student body, and the third presentation was to our superintendent of schools, our mayor of Missoula, and several other administrators throughout our school district. They weren't merely just performing for their teachers. There was much more at stake. So they learned a lot of skills throughout this project. Many of them are the 21st century skills that we hear oftentimes. But the one that I am most proud of is the confidence they developed in their ability to make change happen. This was truly a lifelong learning experience for them, and it also leaves a legacy for future students. This project continues still today. My 2 colleagues have continued this project in the winter and the spring trimester. I myself have not been personally involved since the fall because we had too many irons in the fire. But our Alternative Energy Committee submitted a grant through Northwestern Energy last November to install solar panels on the roof of our school. We recently received approval of that grant, which is almost $20,000 worth, and we hope to proceed with that installation later this spring or early this summer. Okay. The students have still been working on writing a 5-year plan for implementing our design ideas, and they're writing more grants for playground equipment and for trees and shrubs to improve our school grounds. So I challenge you to dream as big as our students have. Project-based learning can take many different forms, from a single classroom to a team of teachers to a school-wide project. The possibilities are endless, and so are the projects that you can do to engage your students. Thanks.